It's still my most popular video. It got like 4.8 million views. It was the #1 story on like BuzzFeed and Fox News over the weekend, and it was like Entertainment Weekly writer claps back with epic country music takedown or something like that, and it caused a big ruckus.
Okay, so in 2013, you make, I guess, what's your first video reviewing country music. And the video is called Why Country Music Was Awful in 2013. That was the name of the video, right? Which is a really funny video. I think it's a little tongue-in-cheek, but you guys should check it out if you haven't seen it. It's actually a very funny video and also very thoughtful, like weirdly thoughtful. So what compelled you to make this video, and how'd you do it? Because there's like some editing going on. And weirdly, the people at Entertainment Weekly were not thrilled about this video, even though it went viral, right? Like it was all over the place.
Yeah, it was a very interesting, like, eye-opening experience, the whole thing. Basically, I had written an article, end of 2013, called My Top 10 Country Albums of 2013. My #1 was Jason Isbell's Southeastern. My #2 was Sturgill Simpson, High Top Mountain. My #3 was Lindy Ortega's Tin Star. And there were some mainstream ones on there, but I was real into anything Dave Cobb produced. I was into it. And someone on Twitter was chirping and being like, "Oh, you're trying so hard to be indie, and like, oh, you're so pretentious. This is what New Yorkers think, blah, 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 blah." And I just made a video in like 5 hours in my bedroom. I'd never really made a supercut like that. And to send it to that dude on Twitter and just be like, well, here's why there's not more mainstream country music, because I think it's in a bad way right now. And it's all about just like dudes saying like, "Hey girl, hop up in my truck," all that kind of stuff. That's what the video kind of said. And it just immediately, like lightning, it's still my most popular video. It got like 4.8 million views. It was the #1 story on like BuzzFeed and Fox News over the weekend, and it was like Entertainment Weekly writer claps back with epic country music takedown or something like that, and it caused a big ruckus. And consequently, my piece that was linked in the description was like the #1 story on our website for the day, or for the weekend. And so when I got to work on Monday, I didn't really know what the reaction would be. You kind of have this meeting, and you know, they'll say, "What's happening on the digital side?" And I remember the guy that ran it saying, you know, Grady's country music reviews of his albums, that was our top story for the weekend. There was a video component, which if the top editors and Grady, you want to stay behind, we can discuss that a little more after the meeting. And I just was like, uh-oh. You know, that's a scary feeling. You're in the morning meeting, you're like, oh, I kind of thought I would get congratulated, but now I feel like I'm about to get in trouble. And I did. I got in big trouble. They were like, you know, this should have been in our exclusive Flash player. It shouldn't have just been on YouTube. We could have had like L'Oreal sponsor it. We're trying to do this. And
were they right in hindsight? Like, was it sort of reckless? Even though it feels like you just want to create stuff, put it out. In hindsight, do you look back and you say, oh, maybe they had a point? Or do you feel like that was crazy?
No, it was stupid. They did nothing for all that extra traffic. And the reality is there was, I think, like, I'm so thankful for my time in legacy media, but there's a deep uncomfortability with the fact that the membrane between reader and writer is getting thinner and thinner and thinner, and now it just doesn't exist. But, you know, at that time, it felt like something else was at play, and I had this weird moment where the editor of the whole magazine called me in his office after that meeting and was like, he's the one that had hired me off the video. And he said, you know, you did something by accident that they haven't been able to do. You made a viral video. So walk around with your tail between your legs, act like you're, you know, sad, and keep doing whatever you want. And it was kind of cool for him to say that, but I was always like, man, you always let them like bash me in front of the whole staff, and then you defend me privately, which I guess is cool, but I feel like I'm trying to do stuff that would be helpful to the brand, and they just didn't feel that way. They were uncomfortable sort of leveraging the brand into the digital space, and uncomfortable letting writers be a little like weirder and more individual, which I get, but there's no New York office anymore. So
it's tough though, because like with media like that, like you want a publication to have a voice throughout it, but at the same time, someone who has a really unique voice like yourself, it's super interesting to let that shine through. But it can kind of be hard sometimes at such an established brand like Entertainment Weekly, where there needs to be a consistent voice, right?
Yeah, it's hard. I get it. I get where they were coming from. It's just I think they were mostly just uncomfortable with it. And they looked at anything that wasn't writing as like a favor almost. So they would always say, "We let you do all this other stuff," and which would be like, "We let you go on the news." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you got to get up at freaking 5 a.m. in South Brooklyn and go to some studio and sit in the waiting room for a 3-minute spot on." The Today Show, the Weekend Today
Yeah,
Show.
right.
And like, I get that is cool. It is, but it's like, I didn't make any extra. I made $29,995. I lived with 6 other dudes in South Brooklyn in a converted recording studio. So it was not like a glamorous life. And there was just a disagreement about the value of stuff like that.
Okay, so you have this moment of reality where this video blows up, and does that get your reels spinning? Because you then made another video about snap tracks in country music. Was that the next video you made?
In a way, it was the next video I made, but it was like it was like years later.
So it was years before you made another YouTube video?
Yeah.
So then you put your head down, you write, at Entertainment Weekly.
I decide I hate the media and I hate the person I'm becoming. Truly, I got like a big breakdown, quarter-life crisis. I moved down to Virginia. I literally, after that experience, there was a few others, and I just was like, I don't think I want to be here. I was like, I think everything everyone says is true. They do look down on most of America, all that stuff. And I was very like, I just wanted out of media, and I quit. I moved down to Virginia, grew a beard, became like hipster restaurant dude, and worked at a taco place called Brazos Tacos in Virginia, and worked at a hotel, worked at a little marketing company, all these little odd jobs.
You figure it out. You had to figure it out.
And around 2017, I was like, I think I overcorrected. I was literally down to like, I had a flip phone for 5 years. I wanted nothing to do with media. I was very resentful. And I was working at the restaurant, and I was like, man, I'm kind of good at that stuff, though. I kind of miss it. Everyone says all of like media's moving to video. Maybe they're right. Maybe I should just, start my YouTube channel back up in a more dedicated way. And so I just started doing reactions on YouTube. I was really into this guy at the time called Dylan Will Not Participate, and he did album reactions, and I loved watching those. And so I was like, I want to try. So I think I rebooted it with a Lauren Elena album reaction to her Road Less Traveled album, and which is why I get annoyed when so many people tell me that you hate on pop country too much. And I'm like, no, I don't. I like pop country, but if it's good. But yeah, that's how it started, and it was just like my own little secret hobby. Like, and then when all my friends found out I was doing this YouTube channel, they'd all make fun of you. If you're at a bar, they'd be like, "Are you gonna go home and shoot a review?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's just for fun." And it really was. Like, I wasn't expecting to make any money off of it, but the different thing that happened is at the very end of 2018, I posted that video called "This Beat is Killing Country Music." It's my second most popular video with like 4.2 million views. And the difference of going viral when you have a back catalog versus the first time I went viral when
it was a dead end.
It was just like a random country video, and I had already privated all my little like high school and college box office videos and stuff. It was very different because then the algorithm has something to recommend. So when that video took off, then all my old videos started to do way better as well, and I started to get subscribers. I got like 30,000 subscribers in a month, which I couldn't believe. I had like 6,000 before that, and that had taken 2 years to get. So that really did kind of move the needle.